are in the medium area, with ragweed specifically being the biggest contributor. More on my full weather forecast.
Thanks, Lainey. The Eula May Edwards Museum and Gallery at Clovis Community College is presenting their new special exhibit. The exhibit, known as Faces and Places, features 6 artists capturing the art and life of New Mexico, depositing recognizable faces and landscapes of the western region. The exhibition will be open from October 3rd to November 15th, and to join them for a special opening reposition, you can join them Thursday, October 3rd from 4:30 to 6 p.m.
Outdoor enthusiasts in the land of enchantment may soon have a higher price tag on their adventure. New Mexico State Parks is looking to raise its fees for the first time in decades. It could be the first rate hike on day use fees since 2004. Camping fees were last increased in 1998, and boat registration fees were last changed in 1984. The possible change comes from after more than a dozen public meetings, garnering hundreds of comments. The budget for the state's parks has remained roughly between $20 and $30 million since 2010. By increasing, the state looks for a potential increase in revenue of about $4.8 million annually. Some of the proposed changes include doubling per vehicle and camping fees for non-residents and raising the annual day use pass rate from $40 to $75 for residents and to $150 for non-residents. Annual camping passes could also go up to $300 for residents and $600 for non-residents. Boating registrations will be roughly doubling and tripling in price depending on the vessel size.
The 26th of September is National Alpaca Awareness Day. The Wild Rush Alpaca Farm near Clovis told News 3 New Mexico about caring for alpacas and their unique personalities.
Alpacas' personalities are very curious. They love to check out anything that's happening around the farm. They'll come and sniff the fences, sniff people, sniff dogs, anything that's going on. They'll alert us if there's something going on across the road. They'll give an alarm call and they will run towards it and look at it. They're very docile, not touchy-feely animals. They don't touch each other much, so they don't think that we should be touching them. They're just generally curious and easygoing. Our alpacas are used to a lot of visitors, so they're usually going to think that the visitors have food. So they'll go out to them and sniff them and check them out. Once in a while you get one that's a bit more shy, so that one might stay away from the crowd. But for the most part, they're going to come up and be very curious with people. These all came from the United States. I did have some originally from Peru. They were imported from Peru. A lot of ours have Peruvian bloodlines, also Bolivian and Chilean bloodlines. So these are all North American alpacas. So our North American alpacas will live between 18 to 20 years. In South America, where they're roaming wild, you've got mountain lions. They don't have as much vaccination, disease prevention. They probably don't get much past 7 or 8 years. You also have to consider in South America they do eat them, so it just depends on when they decide it's time for them to go in the stew pot. But over here, typically we don't eat alpacas. But yeah, average 18 to 20 years. The oldest one over here is Rosie. Let me see if I can point her out to you. Where is Miss Rosie? She's hiding from me. She's right at the back. The white alpaca, she's just put her head up behind the black alpaca. That's Rosie, and she's 20 years old. Yeah. Alpacas are very calming. As you can see here, they're quite docile. Usually we're doing alpaca yoga in the evening, and so it's a nice quiet night. And as the sun goes down, you'll find the alpacas will start to sit down next to the guest. There's stress relief too. They do funny things. They'll come and sniff people's toes and check them out. And people will be lying in shavasana, lying down, and they'll wake up and find an alpaca nose right in their nose. So I think just being around them, being out in the fresh air, just kind of picking up on that really calm vibe that they have. Yeah. No, we've really been very fortunate with the alpaca business. We came in very early. We've managed to keep going through many things, through droughts, through COVID. It's been a great business, and so if anybody's thinking about alpacas, definitely take a look at them, but definitely do your research.
You can meet these beautiful animals at the Windrush Alpaca Farm. For more information, visit www.windrushalpacas.com.
It's a tale of fur, fangs, and flirting. If you're hiking on trails in New Mexico right now, you may run into some fuzzy critters. The end of summer is an active time for tarantula mating season. Male tarantulas in areas of Colorado and New Mexico go out in the world to find love, which comes in the form of female tarantulas who hang out in burrows. Entomologists say the best thing to do is if you see one is to leave it alone. An angry tarantula can kick up a cloud of hairs that causes a stinging irritation or rash. but nothing life-threatening. According to a report by KRQE-TV in Albuquerque, Terra Nutella mating season usually ends in late October. After mating, females lay up to 350 eggs, which can take up to 3 months to hatch.
Coming up after the break, Lainey will have her full weather report for you.
But first, here's a look at today's financial market.
Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Lainey Carlock. Let's talk about the weather. We're looking at a possible hurricane attempting to form in the Gulf of Mexico. While it is not fully formed yet, the specialists on hurricanes are saying that it is a very large possibility that it will form and move up towards the Texas area. So do be aware of that. Moving on to our satellite radar, we are looking at some beautiful weather for New Mexico. As I said previously, a little bit of precipitation up here in the western area, and kind of going into the Albuquerque area as well, but nothing too horrible, just a tiny amount. Moving into our Portales area, we are experiencing dry weather and pretty cool weather compared to everything we have had. Going into our current temperatures, Farmington is currently sitting at 87 with Gallup in a close 86. Raton at 84, Santa Fe at 81, as well as Silver City at 81. Portales is at 86. Lovely. That's a temperature I can sit with. And Roswell at 87 with Clovis at 84. Tonight's lows will be dropping down with Farmington at 47 and Gallup at a cool 38. Raton at 40, Santa Fe at 49, and Albuquerque at 59. Portales at 53, Roswell at 58, and Clovis at 51. Tomorrow's highs will be including 88 in Farmington, 86 in Gallup, Las Cruces at a burning 92, as well as Carlsbad. Portales as well, also at a 92, and Roswell at a 94. I'm going to be missing those cool temperatures that we've been having. Our 7-day forecast will be looking at Roswell in the 90s and 80s, with Thursday being 94, dropping into 88 on Friday, and Monday being at 89. Pretty clear and sunny skies throughout, the lows in the 50s, with the lowest being 55 throughout the week for Roswell. For Carlsbad, they will as well be in the 90s and 80s, however, they are experiencing more 80s than 90s, with a low of 88 on Friday and Monday. Clear skies with them as well, and 50s for the low, with their lowest being 56. Tucumcari in the 80s, and then 190 on Saturday, clear skies with a little bit of cloudiness on Wednesday, a low of 82 on Friday. Their lows for the nighttime will be in the 50s as well, with a low of 51 on Thursday night. Finishing off with Portales in the 90s and 80s as well, clear skies with some cloudiness on Wednesday, dropping into the 50s at night with a low of 52 on Thursday night.
You know, low 90s, I'm going to take it.
I'm going to take it. That means fall is on its way, and hopefully we'll be getting into the 80s because, again, That's weather I can sit with.
Yeah, me too. I'm just glad we're going to start getting back into the high 80s too.
Oh yeah. It's a nice even temperature between being too cold or too hot.
Right.
We'll be right back after this break.
Back to News 3 New Mexico. The Curry County Event Center is hosting their annual Haunted Fairgrounds from October 17th through the 19th and are looking for local groups to celebrate what they call a bone-chilling haunted areas, where the scarier is the better. You can design and haunt your own way, and a part of the proceeds made at the event is given back to the groups who participate. To find out more information on the event, you can email the Event Center at events@currycountyeventcenter.com or call 575-935-7000. The vice presidential debate candidates went head-to-head Tuesday night in New York in a critical debate with over a month to go in the election. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz went back and forth on the key issues.
Each looking to get an edge in the race where the margins are razor thin. Julia Benbrook reports from New York with the highlights and takeaways.
During the 90-minute debate, the vice presidential nominees looked to paint the other ticket as extreme. Walz pointed back to Trump's time in office, calling him, quote, dangerous. And Vance questioned why Harris hadn't accomplished more during her time as vice president. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, bringing their fight from the campaign trail to the debate stage and detailing their party's positions on the top issues, including the economy.
I know a lot of you are struggling. I know a lot of you are worried about paying the bills. It's going to stop when Donald Trump brings back common sense to this country.
Kamala Harris has said to do the things she wants to do, we'll just ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share. When you do that, our system works best.
Reproductive rights.
Let voters make these decisions. Let the individual states make their abortion policy.
Just mind your own business on this. Things worked best when Roe versus Wade was in place.
Border security.
We had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue.
So you've got to stop the bleeding. You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies, build the wall, re-implement deportations.
And foreign policy. The debate taking place just hours after Iran's attack on Israel.
Effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before.
Our coalition is strong, and we need the steady leadership that Kamala Harris is providing.
When it comes to debates, the vice presidential candidates could have the final say. The presidential nominees have not yet agreed to another showdown. Reporting in New York, I'm Julia Benbrook.
The time left to register to vote for the upcoming election on November 5th is running out.
You can find out more information on deadlines and how to vote at rockthevote.org. The month of October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Lee County is asking residents to join them in supporting, encouraging, and empowering the scared, silent, and the abused, because together we can break the silence. Friday, October 4th is Domestic Violence Domestic Violence Awareness Day, hosted by Option Inc., from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. outside the Option Inc. office, located at 200 North Dalmont Street in Hobbs. The event is open to the public, and these agencies will provide information and resources. Coming up after the break, we will have more news for you, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. Pete Rose, baseball's all-time hits leader, has passed away at the age of 83 from natural causes. During his 24 seasons in the majors, the man nicknamed Charlie Hustle collected 3 batting titles. Rose also won a Most Valuable Player award and 3 World Series rings. 2 of those rings came with the Cincinnati Reds and the other with the Philadelphia Phillies. Incredibly, Rose was also a 17-time All-Star at 5 different positions. Rose retired as a player in 1986 but continued to manage the Cincinnati Reds for 3 years. But 3 years later, Rose received a permanent ban from baseball. It was determined that he not only gambled on games while he played for and managed the Reds, but that he bet on his own team. He never reached his Hall of Fame dream, but he'll always be remembered as one of the great game's best players.
A baby bull shark was seen this weekend in a Florida lake. Miles from the ocean, experts think Hurricane Helene has something to do with it. Rachel Wellen reports from Fort Myers.
A baby shark at Lakes Park.
Alligators, snakes, you always see that, but no shark. I think that's crazy.
It might sound crazy, but if you know anything about bull sharks, you know they can live just about anywhere.
Bull sharks are really unique. They have this adaptation that allows them to live in fresh and saltwater environments.
Susanna Cogburn studies these creatures at Florida Gulf Coast University. I asked her how it's possible anyone spotted this shark on Sunday, and if Hurricane Helene had anything to do with it.
It definitely could be related. Looking at, kind of the geography of where Lakes Park is, the most probable what happened is it came up through Hendry Creek. And especially with the extra flood water, it could have really, pushed that shark there. And then when the water receded, it just stayed in Lakes Park.
Hendry Creek ends at Lakes Park and connects to Estero Bay and then eventually the Gulf. Susanna says living in fresh water might put the shark into a little bit of stress, but as long as it has enough food, it should be okay.
Which, as the only shark in the lake, it seems like they should have an ample amount of food to feed on.
Rounding out this section's report, ENMU is having their 8th annual Powder Puff Tournament tonight. In the spirit of homecoming, ASAB is holding another role-reversing game of Powder Puff for this year's students. With the practices being rounded off and each team is ready to go head-to-head, and this roster of players as cheerleaders seem to be a full one as we celebrate our pride of green and silver. The event will be held at the Steve Loy Family Foundation Stadium, running from 6:30 p.m. through 10 p.m. The concessions will be open, and we'd love to see you there. Coming up after this break, we have just a little bit more news for you,
including a last look at the weather report, so stay tuned. You know, it's great that it's homecoming week.
Yeah, I'm really excited. What's that weather looking like?
Well, you know, going into the weather, we're looking at Carlsbad resting at a solid 87 on Wednesday, 91 on Thursday, and 86 on Friday. Going on to Santa Rosa with 89 on Wednesday and Thursday, and 81 on Friday. Roswell at a nice 88 on Wednesday, 92 on Thursday, and 86 on Friday. And Portales at an 87 on Wednesday, 91 on Thursday, and an 86 on Friday. All the places having nice, clear, and sunny skies throughout this week.
I'm just glad that homecoming stuff is not going to get rained out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got
beautiful, clear skies.
Let's hope we can keep it that way.
If we can keep it that way, we'll have a great game, I think.
Clear skies and cool temperatures.
Absolutely.
All right, that's about all the time we have for you right there.
So we'll see you all on Friday.
Thank you.